A new tax year has arrived, and if you're living in the UK, you now have an allowance of £20,000 if you're an adult, £9,000 if you're under 18 to deploy into tax-free savings. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I am deploying my £20,000 into Trading 212 this tax year, how I'm creating some pies to try and organise my finances. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stay tuned. So hello again folks, welcome back to the channel if you are a regular viewer. If you're not, my name is David from prettypenny.club. I make videos to help you reach your financial goals with content on investing, passive income, and generally trying to make your money work harder for you. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing. Let's get on with the video. So as I said in the intro to this video, this year's tax allowance has been set once again at £20,000 if you're an adult, or £9,000 if you want to invest in a junior ISA. What this means is you can invest up to £20,000 to invest your money in a tax-free wrapper that will basically protect any interest you make, any capital gains, any dividends from any kind of taxation at all. When you're not paying any tax, then obviously over the years those sorts of benefits are going to grow and grow and grow. So this is very much a video about investing for the long term. So I have never really been a fan of cash ISAs. I don't think they're a particularly good way to deploy your money and to try to get your money working for you. So of course I will be deploying my £20,000 once again in a stocks and shares ISA. The past couple of years I've been using Vanguard. I love their product, I love what they do, but this year I thought it would be a good opportunity to take my £20,000 and try out Trading 212's ISA platform. Of course, I have mentioned in my videos before that Trading 212 are still not taking on new customers, but if you are a customer with an Invest account, that's the standard sort of offering that they have, then you can still move over to their Trading 212 ISA product. That's exactly what I have done. That's exactly what I will be doing as we go forward throughout the year. So my own personal investing goals for this particular tax year are to get my full allocation of £20,000 deployed and working for me in a tax-free ISA. To have the full amount of £20,000 seems a little unlikely for me this year. I have a lot of other things going on that are going to demand some of my time and some of my capital, but nonetheless, we will give it a darn good go. I'm a strong believer of getting as much money as you can into the market as quickly as possible. I'm not a huge fan of drip feeding or keeping some money aside for dips. In my view, that's just a fancy way of timing the market, so I will be deploying capital as and when it becomes available into my ISA. So anybody who watches this channel on any kind of regular basis will know that I'm a big fan of Vanguard's products. Most of my investing was done with Vanguard, and every month at a particular time I would have allocated my amount of money that I had to invest at that particular time into 4 or 5 different ETFs that they offered. I still had to work out manually exactly how much I was going to put into those ETFs and manage the allocation and weighting of those from month to month. This is where Trading 212 pies come in, and I think it is a fantastic solution to this problem of trying to manage particular allocations within a portfolio. Alright, so let's just jump into the app and take a look at the ISA product that Trading 212 are offering. So really, to get into the ISA product, you just open the app as normal, slide the top tab over to ISA and start saving. Basically what you're going to be presented with are a couple of bits of terms and conditions. You just basically have to say yes to keep moving through the screens, and eventually you'll get to open your ISA. Believe it or not, I did take the time to read all these terms and conditions. You should too. If you're in any doubt about what you're signing up to whatsoever, make sure you talk to a professional. Since this was the first time I had used this ISA, it was a completely empty account. The first thing I wanted to do was set up a pie that was basically going to replicate what I already had going on in Vanguard. So it's very simple to start searching through the different stocks and ETFs available on Trading 212, and as you find what you like, you can simply add them to the pie. Once you have everything added to the pie that you're interested in, you then need to allocate the size of the slices. That basically means how much of your portfolio you want to allocate to each slice of your individual pie. Of the 5 ETFs I chose, I basically wanted to split them 35, 35, 10, 10 and 10, and ultimately I end up with something that looks a lot like what I had going on in Vanguard. Once you have finished the allocation of your pie, you are offered a projection of what your pie might earn you going forward. So you can see that based on the last 5 years, my pie will be projected to earn me around about 10%. I don't know if this is optimistic or not. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance, etc., but it is kind of nice that you might have some idea of what you could expect going forwards. As we move on then, we are asked if we want to auto invest, and that will basically effectively make a direct debit into your account so that you will invest automatically. You have to do absolutely nothing to continue to make your consistent deposits and hopefully consistent gains. I actually think it's good fun manually investing Whichever of these two options you go for, it doesn't particularly make a difference to how your pie will operate. So if you're anything like me, you love to play around with some numbers and projections and get to see some kind of long-term picture of what your investments might eventually someday yield. You start out with some defaults here, basically going to run for 10 years and going to deposit £1,000 a month. That is not me. You can play with the little sliders here and adjust your numbers and all the rest. Simply put, part of my long-term plan here is to have £100,000 invested in the stock market. I already have somewhere in the region of 23,000. So that means somewhere in the next sort of 8 years, I would like to have another £77,000 in the market. But at this point in time, I don't really have that kind of money to throw at my investments. So if I play a little bit around with the sliders, you'll see that I'm going to come up very, very short here on my 77,000. And Trading 212 will then tell me that I am projected to finish behind my goals. But that's okay, because it'll be all the more sweeter when we eventually crush those goals ahead of schedule. Next, all you got to do is give your pie a name and you are all set. So basically, as a nice summary, you can see there that I plan to pay £400 a month into this particular pie over the next 8 years, which would see me contribute somewhere around the order of £38,000. And if their projection of around about 10% interest is correct, then that would see me coming in with around £59,000, which unfortunately is well short of my 77k goal. So finally, here's the very cool thing about these pies. Once I had all this sorted out, then the next day it was time to deposit some money. And basically I took £1,149 and I set it into this pie. The greatest part about this is that Trading 212 looked at the allocations that I had set aside for the different slices of my pie and split my money accordingly. I didn't have to think about how much was going in to one particular slice of the pie, how much was going to another. I just told Trading 212, I have this lump sum, I want to put it in my pie, so you sort out the numbers. Fantastic. As I say, with fractional shares, absolutely every penny I have put into this pie is now working for me. There's no spare cash lying around just gathering dust. It's all working. Trading 212 pies are a fantastic little tool. I highly recommend you make friends with them and see what they can do for you. From time to time, you may find that some of your investments outperform the market, some of your investments underperform the market, and there may come a time when you want to rebalance your pie back to the original allocations that you set out with to begin with. It's very, very simple. You just hit the auto rebalance button and your pies will be rearranged. Money will be moved around so that you get back to your original allocation. This is a great way to manage your investments on Trading 212. If you're interested in seeing what other investors are doing, there are a ton of pies available in their pie library. I have added my Vanguard pie to the multitude of pies that are already there. If you're following other finance YouTubers, there's a fair chance that they are going to have their pies listed in this library as well. You can leave comments on pies, so I would welcome any thoughts you have on my Vanguard pie. Overall, their ISA product looks pretty much what I'm used to on their usual invest platform. The difference is I'm not going to pay any tax on these. This is great news. Again, folks, if you're not utilizing your ISA allowance, give it some thought as to how you can do it. Stocks and shares ISAs are not necessarily a thing for you, so again, if you are in any doubt, consult a professional, talk about your own personal needs. Don't forget, if this video has brought you any kind of value whatsoever, please hit the like button. It will help the channel massively. And if you're not already subscribed and this is the kind of content you're into, then please consider subscribing and hitting that wee notification bell as well. Folks, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.